Durk closest homie linked with one of his biggest ops. Chief Keef did a song with YoungBoy. Dog, how y'all think Durk feeling about that?
Chief Keef just made a move that has the whole city talking, and not in a good way. Word on the street is he linked up with NBA YoungBoy. Yes, that NBA YoungBoy, the same artist who's had serious tension with people connected to King Von.
Would y'all consider this a part of Black history because the two most influential rappers inside the same room? As y'all can see, NBA YoungBoy and Chief Keef in the studio with each other, and they was just vibing to the song they made together. Now, YoungBoy might not admit it, but I know he was happy to make a song with Keef, because he mentioned Chief Keef in lots of songs, and one of his songs he literally said,
"He never had a role model, watch Chief Keef growing up."
And the song with him and Keef been got leaked, we just ain't know when it was gonna get released. And lots of people surprised that Keef is even doing the song with YoungBoy due to the Lil Durk beef. But if you really mess with Keef, you know he don't mess with O-Block or Durk like that.
And now folks are looking at Sosa sideways, wondering what he's really on. And it doesn't stop there. Some people from his old neighborhood are allegedly upset to the point where they're saying he's not welcome back around like before. That's a heavy shift. We're talking about someone who grew up with these same guys, ate at the same tables, stayed in the same buildings, and now he's standing next to someone they see as the opposition. That hits different. This isn't just music industry gossip. This is about loyalty, history, and how success can change dynamics fast.
You know, what do you think about that, man? And can Chief Keef come back?
I still talk to him. I still FaceTime. So I hear DM me back, all type.
Nobody want me to talk about it, man. Chief Keef and NBA YoungBoy did a song together, man. And people talking about that he ain't loyal to King Von or Durk or none of that. Hey, look, bro, I know y'all don't know y'all history, though.
Chief Keef wasn't always the superstar living in big houses and driving foreign cars. He came up in Parkway Gardens, known as O-Block, surrounded by serious street energy and people who were really outside every day. Names like King Von and T-Roy were part of that era, and that environment shaped everything. Keef wasn't just rapping stories. He was around real situations, real tension, real chaos. He dealt with arrests, neighborhood conflicts, and constant pressure. Even though he had stronger ties to Front Street, the different sets like 300 and O-Block were closely connected at the time. It was one alliance, one movement. Then, 2012 happened. I Don't Like exploded, and suddenly Sosa went from local teenager to national headline overnight. A major deal with Interscope reportedly worth millions, cameras everywhere, and the world watching his every move. That kind of rise can flip your life upside down in seconds. But here's where some people say the distance started. Once the money came in, Keef relocated to Los Angeles. Fast, clean break, and from what's been said over the years, he only brought a small circle with him. People like Ball Out and Tydo, while others stayed back in Chicago dealing with the same daily struggles. That's where feelings allegedly shifted. From the outside looking in, it seemed like Sosa leveled up while the block stayed stuck. He's posting luxury cars, jewelry, big houses. Meanwhile, the neighborhood's still facing the same tension as before. Now that doesn't automatically mean he forgot anybody, but perception matters. Some people feel like once the fame hit, the energy changed. They say he started moving different, talking different, acting like he outgrew the very place that helped build his name. At the same time, his music still shouted out the block, still claimed the set, still mentioned old rivals. So critics started asking, if you're still repping it publicly, are you still supporting it privately? King Von had hinted at this dynamic in past conversations, suggesting Sosa would post tough images online, but wasn't always physically present. Now, whether that's fair or not is up for debate, but what's clear is this new link-up with NBA YoungBoy reopened old conversations that never really went away.
Chief Keef was in the studio, or they was somewhere vibing, they linked up. YoungBoy and Chief Keef linked up somewhere, they was vibing, listening to the same music. You know what I'm saying? The world was in an uproar and all of that, and you know, like, I'm gonna give y'all a quick rundown in history of this whole Chief Keef thing, because it's not that I'm mad at y'all for, it's like I really don't get y'all point of being mad at Keef. You know what I'm saying? So let me give y'all a quick rundown of their history. Four of them did what they did to Keef, they robbed them, did what they did. Cool, bang, boo, bop, boo, bing, bing, boo. Cool. Not only did they do that, when Keef was in tour with Shaq Glizzy and Amigos, y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Four of them was making songs with them niggas, bro. You know what I'm saying? While Soden was in tour with them niggas, Foden was making songs with them niggas.
Now, from Von's point of view, the whole thing looked fake. In his eyes, you can't keep saying you're helping the block if there's no real action behind it. And this is where the tension reportedly started building for real. Not just music drama, but neighborhood politics that most outsiders don't fully get. There was a guy from the block known as Trey 5 who got locked up on a gun case. His bond was set at $25,000, meaning they needed about $2,500 to get him out. That number might not sound wild to some people, but when you're coming from nothing, that's huge. When money is tight and opportunities are limited, even a couple thousand can feel impossible.
When Sosa was in tour with niggas in the industry and Foden was making songs with them niggas while Sosa was in tour, nobody was saying nothing. Nobody felt like Foden was crossing soul. Nobody gave a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cared. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cared. But y'all care now that Soul doing songs with niggas that don't fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, he keeping the same energy. Y'all, I swear to God, I remember when Von died, folks. I waited on Sosa to acknowledge it. He never did. He never said nothing about Von dying. You know, cause death is so final, bro. Sometimes it make you go back and reminisce and be like, damn, you know, like all the shit we been through, but damn, you know, I ain't never want this for him. You know what I'm saying? I had to reflect on that with some of the niggas that died. That me and them wasn't cool or like just weren't cordial when they died.
So according to stories that have circulated for years, King Von, Boss Top, and others started trying to scrape that money together any way they could. They were hustling, making moves, doing what they believed was necessary to help their friend. But no matter what they did, they couldn't reach that full amount. That's when they allegedly reached out to Chief Keef. At that time, he had just signed a major deal reportedly worth millions. So from their perspective, $2,500 should have been light work. The message was simple. We need help. This is family. We're all from the same place. And from what's been said, Keef allegedly responded with promises. I got it. Just give me a minute. But the money didn't come right away. Days passed, then weeks, then even longer. Whether it was miscommunication, delay, or something else, the block started feeling like they were being brushed off. Boss Top later spoke about the situation, suggesting they felt like they had waited long enough. In their minds, their wealthy friend had the ability to fix it, but wasn't moving fast enough. That frustration reportedly turned into anger. Then March 27th, 2014 happened. And this is where things escalated big time. Several individuals allegedly went to the house where Keef was staying in Highland Park. What followed was described by authorities as a home invasion. Items were taken, including a car, clothes, and expensive belongings. It wasn't a calm pull-up, it was chaos. One detail that really shocked people was the claim that even personal items connected to Keef's child were taken. That crossed a line for a lot of observers. Emotions were clearly high, but that move made the situation look messy on another level. During the incident, gunfire reportedly broke out and someone was seriously injured and hospitalized. Police later treated the situation as a major felony case, and several names from the block were connected to the investigation. The stakes instantly became life-changing. What made it even more confusing was Keef's reaction afterward. Instead of publicly going at the people involved, he seemed more frustrated that law enforcement had been called. At one point, he posted a message online criticizing his own manager for contacting authorities. That left people scratching their heads. He also posted RIP Boss Top before deleting it, which sparked wild speculation. Some took it as symbolic, like saying someone was dead to him. Others thought it hinted at something more serious. Either way, it added more tension to an already explosive situation. And as if that wasn't enough, Boss Top allegedly ended up with one of Keef's most iconic chains, the piece everyone associated with Sosa. That chain became a symbol of the fallout. Months later, Lil Durk even referenced the situation in a diss track, putting the drama fully into the spotlight. From that point on, the relationship between Chief Keef and parts of his old neighborhood was never the same. The divide was real, and it only set the stage for even bigger moves years later. Things really blew up when Lil Durk flat out said in a track that Boss Top had Sosa's chain. That line traveled fast, and suddenly the whole world knew Chief Keef had been robbed by people from his own circle. That's a tough look for any rapper. Losing your chain is already embarrassing in hip-hop culture, but when it's taken by your own guys and then blasted in a diss song, that hits different. Boss Top didn't exactly stay quiet either. He filmed videos wearing the chain, posted photos with it, and basically dared Sosa to come back to the block if he wanted it. It felt like open mockery. Social media ran wild with jokes. Some fans started clowning Boss Top too, especially after reports spread that personal items were taken during the incident. His reputation took a hit, but from his perspective, he felt justified. And here's the wild twist. That same chain reportedly got taken from Boss Top later on by Famous Dex. So the chain went from Chief Keef to Boss Top to Famous Dex. At that point, people started joking that the chain was cursed. Every person who flexed it ended up losing it. King Von never hid how he felt about all this. He spoke openly about being disappointed in how the Trey 5 situation was handled. In Von's mindset, if you escape the neighborhood and level up, you're supposed to lift your people too, not distance yourself. He would question how someone could flash money and weapons online while, in his view, not stepping up when the block needed real help. To Von, it wasn't just about cash, it was about loyalty. That word meant everything to him. Loyalty to the block, loyalty to friendships, loyalty to unspoken codes. So when he felt like that code was broken, he took it personal. From there, the divide became real. People started picking sides. Either you rocked with Sosa's decisions or you stood with the block. And this wasn't happening in isolation. This was during the peak of Chicago drill, when tensions between different neighborhoods were already high. O Block, STL, 051, 300. Multiple groups were going back and forth. Diss tracks were intense, and lyrics were directly tied to real-life losses. Songs like I Don't Like helped push drill into the mainstream, but they also amplified rivalries. Critics began pointing out something uncomfortable. Keef's music referenced street conflicts, yet he was physically in Los Angeles while others were still in Chicago dealing with the aftermath. Whether that's fair or not depends on who you ask, but that perception added to the resentment. Some felt he was benefiting from a lifestyle he no longer had to personally navigate. Then November 6, 2020 changed everything. King Von lost his life in Atlanta during an altercation outside a lounge. The situation involved Lil Tim, who was associated with NBA YoungBoy's camp. After that, lines were drawn even sharper. People close to Von, including Lil Durk and others, distanced themselves from NBA YoungBoy out of loyalty to Von's memory. So now, fast forward to today, and Chief Keef linking up with NBA YoungBoy? For some, that feels like reopening old wounds. To others, it might just be business or growth. After Von passed, people close to him treated it like an unspoken rule. If you truly rock with Von, you don't align yourself with NBA YoungBoy or anyone tied to that situation. No features, no public shoutouts, no friendly links. That was the energy. In certain circles, that's just how loyalty is supposed to work. Lil Durk appeared to take that stance seriously. Even though a collaboration with YoungBoy could have made major money, he kept his distance. From the outside, it looked like he chose loyalty over business. And in street culture, that choice earns respect. Chief Keef, though, seemed to move differently. By that time, he already wasn't closely connected to O Block like before, and his relationship with King Von had been rocky for years. So from Sosa's perspective, some people believe he didn't feel obligated to follow that same rule. Considering Von had been tied to the earlier robbery situation and had publicly criticized him, Keef may have felt like there was no loyalty left to protect. Then things got even more complicated. Chief Keef was seen around Kayla B, King Von's sister. Photos surfaced, social media interactions picked up, and people started talking. To some observers, it looked messy. Von's sister cool with someone he had tension with? That raised eyebrows fast. For some fans and block members, it felt like a betrayal of Von's memory. They believed family loyalty should come first, especially after everything that happened. But others pointed out that Kayla B is her own person. From her perspective, maybe she didn't see it the same way. Maybe she wasn't trying to pick sides at all. We don't know her full mindset, and it's important not to assume. Still, perception matters. And publicly, it added fuel to an already tense situation. Then, NBA YoungBoy entered the conversation again, this time with praise. In interviews, he openly said Chief Keef was one of his biggest inspirations growing up. He mentioned songs like I Don't Like and Love Sosa as major influences on his sound. That surprised a lot of people. The same camp connected to Von's passing, now showing admiration for Sosa. Instead of staying distant, Chief Keef eventually linked up with YoungBoy in the studio. They recorded Tony Montana Flow and released it like it was just another collaboration. From a business standpoint, it could be seen as two artists working together. But emotionally, For some people back in Chicago, it felt deeper than music. To certain O-Block members, that move crossed a serious line. Social media posts started popping up accusing Sosa of betrayal. Some claimed he wasn't welcome back around the neighborhood. Others said he had officially chosen his side. Whether it's growth, business, or pure independence, that's up for debate. But one thing is clear. In a culture built on loyalty, every move gets watched closely. And Chief Keef's latest decisions, they definitely didn't go unnoticed. The comment sections turned into a war zone. People flooded under his posts laughing, throwing shade, and making it clear they weren't feeling that link up at all. Some even posted pictures of weapons and made reckless statements about what would happen if he stepped back in Chicago. It wasn't just disappointment, it sounded personal. At one point, when Chief Keef hinted about buying property in the old neighborhood, the response was basically, "You can't even come back here like that." That's how deep the divide looks right now. For certain people, it's not about money, it's not about investments, it's about loyalty. And in their eyes, that line was crossed a long time ago. What makes it even wilder is that some of these same guys once stood right next to him. They made music together, shared moments, protected each other. Now the tone has flipped completely. The energy went from brotherhood to hostility. That shift shows just how serious they believe the betrayal was. From their perspective, Chief Keef chose business over bonds, fame over friendships, opportunities over old ties. And when someone feels like loyalty was traded for success, they don't just unfollow you, they label you an outsider. That's the mindset we're seeing play out online. So now, the narrative floating around is that Sosa is basically disconnected from the very place that helped shape him. Chicago raised him. O-Block amplified his name. But today, certain voices from that same environment are saying he's no longer welcome the way he once was. That's a dramatic turn. A lot of people still circle back to the Trey 5 bond situation, arguing that if that $2,500 had been handled quickly, none of this would have spiraled. To them, it was a small amount compared to millions. But to others, it's not that simple. We don't know what was happening behind the scenes. Contracts, obligations, trust issues. There's always more layers than social media shows. And here's the thing, Chief Keef might genuinely feel like he moved on years ago. He built a new circle, new business moves, new life in Los Angeles. When you've been away that long, maybe you start feeling like you don't owe explanations anymore. From a distance, that can look cold. But from his side, it might look like survival and independence. Still, critics argue that attitude is exactly what widened the gap. When people think you forgot where you came from, they don't take that lightly. Now add in the NBA YoungBoy collaboration, the history with King Von, and everything tied to that tragedy. Emotions are still raw. This situation isn't just about two artists working together, it's about what happens when success pulls someone in a different direction than the people they started with. Some call it growth, others call it betrayal. And here's the wildest part. People still say all of this traces back to just $2,500. One small number that turned into years of tension, broken friendships, and a permanent split. Now let's be real. We can't say for sure that one payment would have changed the entire future. Life isn't that simple. But in the eyes of a lot of people from the block, that moment was the turning point. Some believe if that bond money had been handled right away, maybe the resentment wouldn't have built up the way it did. Maybe relationships wouldn't have fractured. Maybe certain lines wouldn't have been crossed later on. That's how deep the what if conversation goes. But at the same time, others argue that things were already shaky, and that situation just exposed cracks that were already there. Fast forward to today, and the optics look crazy. Chief Keef collaborating with NBA YoungBoy. Old wounds reopening. People still debating loyalty versus business. From one side, it looks like Sosa chose independence and growth. From the other side, it feels like he turned his back on history. It all depends on who you ask. Some say he doesn't owe anyone anything after being robbed and disrespected. Others feel once you come from a place like that, loyalty doesn't expire. That's the heart of this entire debate. Is it survival? Is it betrayal? Or is it just grown men moving on in their own ways? What's clear is this: the drill scene changed forever after these events. Relationships shifted, alliances broke, and the city's energy hasn't been the same since. Whether you side with Chief Keef or with the block, you can't deny this story runs deep. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Chief Keef was wrong for linking up with YoungBoy? Or do you feel like once certain lines were crossed back in 2014, he had every right to move however he wanted? Should he have stepped in with that bond money? Or was it never his responsibility in the first place? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's really talk about it. If you made it this far, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps the channel more than you think. Share this video with someone who's been following this Chicago history for years. And if you're into real breakdowns of rap drama, street politics, and the stories behind the headlines, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And don't click off just yet. Check out the video popping up on your screen right now for even more celebrity drama and behind-the-scenes breakdowns. Trust me, that one is just as wild. I'll see you in the next one.